Asking, is there a difference between women and men?
What I can say here is that the NCAA has rules in place. They've had rules in place for the last decade, and when this competition happened,
I'm going to try again.
The rules were clear.
Do you believe there's a difference between women and men? It's a yes/no question.
In a land where truth is way more stranger than fiction, in 2023, I often feel like we're living in a large insane asylum where the inmates of said asylum are leading our country. Recently, the topic of gender and sex has been entered into the public conversation. A witness from the Human Rights Campaign tried to argue that there is no physical differences between men and women in sports.
Biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
Give me an example. Well, no, I don't think. How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis, right? That they think that they could actually score a point on her. And it's just not the case. She is stronger than that.
What's your experience, Ben? Male, female?
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband, he swam at University of Kentucky as well. In terms of accolades and in terms of national ranking, I was a much better swimmer than him. He could kick my butt any day of the week without trying.
This woman, who more than likely has never played any sport whatsoever, is apparently gun-ho regarding the differences between men and women in sports, or lack thereof, legitimately sat in front of the Library of Congress and lied. Serena Williams herself has literally said that she has no business competing against men in the game of tennis.
Actually, it's funny because Andy Murray, he was been joking about myself and him playing a match. And I'm like, Andy, seriously, are you kidding me? Because for me, tennis and men's tennis and women's tennis are completely almost two separate sports. So I'm like, if I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0, 6-0, and 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because it's true. It's
honestly,
true. It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster, and they serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game, and I love to play women's tennis, and I only want to play girls because I don't want to be embarrassed. I would not do the tour. I wouldn't do Billie Jean any justice. So Andy, stop it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you kill me.
I'm with you when it comes to tennis. I only want to play girls.
Yeah.
This woman is a straight up fool and can't even answer a simple question, and to watch it unfold is simply maddening.
Ms. Robinson, do you agree with Ms. Gaines that there's a difference between women and men?
If the question is about trans women...
I'm just asking, is there a difference between women and men?
What I can say here is that the NCAA has rules in place. They've had rules in place for the last decade, and when this competition happened,
I'm going to try again.
The rules were clear.
Do you believe there's a difference between women and men? It's a yes/no question. Do you believe there's a difference?
Oh, I think that we're talking about this case with the NCAA.
No, I'm asking a question. Do you believe there's a difference between women and men? Most people could answer this very simply. I'm curious if you're willing to do so.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just putting it into the context of the conversation that we're having. I think that there are definitions related to sex.
Is that a yes? So I'm trying to get a yes or no. I'm not trying to get a speech. Is there a difference between women and men?
I think that there are definitions for biological sex.
Okay, so you're not answering that. Let me ask you this question then. Why do women's sports exist? If you can't define a difference between women and men, why not abolish women's sports and just tell little girls to swim with little boys and see who wins?
Oh, I'm simply saying that that sex is
My
different
question,
than gender.
Why
and I do believe that women's sports have a great
exist?
value. I mean, Senator, I'll tell you right
Ms.
now.
Robinson, please answer the question I'm asking you.
Absolutely.
Why do women's sports exist?
I think that there are so many positive benefits to sports.
But why have a separate category for women? If there's no difference between women and men, why to have women's sports?
But one must ask themselves, why are women trying so hard to harm other women? I mean, just think about it. With her rhetoric, you can have naturally born men competing and fighting in mixed martial arts against naturally born women, putting those natural born women in grave danger by facing someone who is genetically superior when it comes to physical combat.
I expect fight to end with like a romantic about Ericka Newsome. Pretty strong fighter. I don't think she had a technique of beating, so I'm just going to take it to her over and over and over again until I win this fight.
Let's welcome her opponent to the cage, Ericka Newsome.
I feel really well. I've been training really hard for this opportunity for a long time.
And look at this girl. I mean,
Physical specimen, man. Wow.
great shape. She's solid, she's tough, and she's ready to go. She doesn't want Fallon taking home that $20,000.
Good throws and reversals by both fighters.
These girls are getting right into it. Fox, that's it, Fallon Fox. Holy cow! Game over.
Wow.
And a quick finish to our first women's $20,000 championship tournament fight.
The winner by knockout, Fallon Fox.
How you feeling right now? I'm feeling excellent. That was sweet, huh? Did you like that? Yeah! And I want to tell everyone else, I'm coming in this tournament. Every woman in this tournament better look out. I'm freaking coming.
Why'd you punch that librarian? I didn't punch her.
It's on up front though because Michael Cherry is closing in and just speeding past Justina Svet.
It's so crazy to me that there are women in positions of power that are woke LGBTQ justice warriors that legitimately come into arguments with no facts, data, or statistics. Yet if you have a scientific take on something, you get labeled as transphobic, perpetuating transgenocide. Now, what's absolutely insane regarding these arguments is that since the beginning of time, we have known sex to be two different genders, XX, XY chromosomes. Fast forward to the 21st century where you have these genital mutilation surgeries, you have puberty blockers, you have hormone therapies, all in an attempt to question this concept of sex in relation to gender, all in an attempt to get people with questionable mental health to establish themselves as a different identity to what they were born.
I am a woman, but I'm not a biological woman. I lived half of my life modifying myself and going through painful procedures and surgeries to be the woman that I am today. This hasn't been an easy process. I just want to find love, meet a good man, who can be a father of my baby and give me a family. Being able to carry my own child to me would mean the world. It can be done, but with risks. So this afternoon I'll say, I'm going to be going to the Fertility Academy to get pregnant. I'm ready for it, and I'm going to do whatever it takes.
But here's the thing, people can do whatever it is with their body as long as they're not doing something illegal or harming others within that. My issue is that the consideration of all of these different types of genders or the fluidity throughout sex is having some real world consequences. I mean, men who have transitioned into female are now playing in women's sports. I mean, there was even a story recently of a young, born a man, transitioned into a woman, I believe that's a trans woman, was in a sorority, but the sorority sisters were complaining about his behavior.
At the University of Wyoming, according to a new lawsuit, 6 sorority sisters say they were forced by the national chapter to allow a man, Artemis Langford, into their women-only organization because Langford says he's transgender. Now, what comes with being inducted into the sorority is unfettered access to the house, where about 40 college girls live. Now, a house where men, even fathers and boyfriends, are banned from being on the 2nd or 3rd floors because that's where the bedrooms and the communal bathrooms are. But Langford had access to all of it. According to the lawsuit, several times Langford had chosen to sit for hours on the couch in the 2nd floor common area. Langford stares at women walking past. One sorority member walked down the hall to take a shower wearing only a towel. She felt an unsettling presence, turned, and saw Langford watching her silently. The suit also alleges that he has watched members enter the house and sometimes had an erection visible through his leggings. Other times he had a pillow in his lap.
Time and time again, we've seen these mediocre athletes that have competed in male sports transition into female sports, and they are at the top of their class or the top of their league. And this is effectively destroying women's sports, because one must ask, why even have a women's league if you have naturally born men with their man-sized hands, their man reaction time, their male bone density, their male lung capacity, and all of the other advantages that men have from a physical perspective compete against other women.
This powerlifter has people outraged. Avi Silverberg joined a girls' powerlifting competition in Canada and broke the record by lifting way more than anyone else. He casually bench pressed nearly 370 pounds, beating the current Alberta women's record by almost 100 pounds. The previous record holder was Ann Andrus, a trans athlete who was actually there at the event. The lifter said that he was only doing this to question the rules that let competitors join based on how they see themselves rather than their physical traits.
It's clearly insanity. And most of it's because it's hidden behind this idea of being woke or awoken to information that most of the masses do not go, or being tolerable of different people, of different situations. And my thing is that where's the boundaries? Where's the cutoff points? If we continue to allow those to blow beyond the barriers of science, then where will it end? When will it stop? All right, guys, hopefully you're still with me in this video right here. What do you guys think about this particular topic? Do you agree with me and the clips and the things that I'm saying, or do you disagree? I want to hear your comments down below. But inevitably, I just think this is that in order to continue to be the best country on this planet, we have to follow rules. We have to follow protocol. We have to understand the rules and the boundaries and the limitations within that, because if not, if it's all willy-nilly, if we're all just making it up and we're going against the tried and true methods that have worked for previous generations, we're going to be stuck up the creek with no paddle. And if we don't get the simple things fixed, then we're going to continue to be the laughing stocks. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell a man you can't jack. The big the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell a man you can't jack. The big the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. That bar need defibrillation ASAP. Get boxed with a straight gap. I'm reminded of mind state they lack. Every time that they incline, we go way back. All they wanna be is just